Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hi, boys and girls. So it is Miss Olvera. We are going to continue. We are week 9, day 4. So today is Thursday. So I am reading, let's see, what chapters am I reading today? We're going to start chapter 7. So then today we will do chapter 7 and 8. Yeah, 7 and 8. And then tomorrow on Friday, I will do 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so let's get started. Now, just to let you know, it might get dark because my lights went out right now when I was about to read. And then I was like, oh, it's dark. So the good thing is I have a light up here. So hopefully that will help. Okay, so here we go. Chapter 7, drill, baby, drill. It says, every day, Mr. Cooper tries to teach us how to do math. I don't know why. What's the point of learning math when we have calculators? Anyway, Mr. Cooper had just told us to turn to page 23 in our math books when the lights started flashing and sirens started screaming, near, near, and you'll never believe in 1,100 years what happened next. Nope, Mrs. Meyer didn't come running into the doorway. Wrong again. Fire drill! Everybody started shouting, yay, a fire drill. A fire drill is when we have to pretend there's a fire even though nothing is burning up. It's kind of like having an imaginary friend who you talk to but isn't really there. You know, I used to have an imaginary friend. His name was Johnny. But we got into an argument and now we're not speaking anymore. Fire drills are cool because we get to miss math and reading and other boring stuff. And if you ask me, we should have a fire drill every day. We had to get up and walk single file out of the building. Mr. Cooper, he was the line leader. Alexia was the door holder. And everybody was goofing around because we knew it wasn't a real fire. If it was a real fire, I would have run out of there like a cheetah was chasing me. Walk quickly, kids, Mr. Cooper told us. No talking. We had to stand out on the playground for 1,100 hours, because I guess that's how long it takes for a school to burn down. So we were standing out there minding our own business, and you'll never believe what I saw coming out of the trees next to the playground. Smoke. Hey, look over there, I said, pointing towards the woods. Ooh, do you see the smoke? It looked like a forest fire might be starting, yelled Andrea. Oh no, hollered Michael. Run for your lives, shouted Neil. We've got to do something, Emily said. That's right, yelled Ryan. Only all of us can prevent forest fires. Let's go, said Mr. Cooper as he pulled out his cell phone. I'll call the school and tell them to alert the fire department. We ran into the woods to see if we could put out the forest fire, and you'll never believe in 1,100 years what we found there. It was Mrs. Meyer. She was sitting next to a little campfire, holding a long stick with a hot dog at the end of it. What are you doing here, Mrs. Meyer? Asked Michael. What does it look like I'm doing? She replied. I'm cooking a hot dog. I never got to eat breakfast today. Did you make that fire with your own hands? Asked Alexia. Well, I couldn't make it with somebody else's hands, she said, taking a bite from her hot dog. Did any of you kids ever make a campfire? No, said Neil. No, said Andrea. No, said Emily. In case you were wondering, everybody was saying no. There are 3 things you need to make a fire, Mrs. Meyer told us as she took another bite of her hot dog. Can anybody name one of them? Lighter fluid, I said. You're partly right, AJ, she said. You need fuel, air, and heat. The fuel is needed for the fire to burn. The air is needed for the fire to breathe. And the heat is needed to keep the fire burning. If you get rid of any of those 3 things, your fire will go out. Boy, she sure knew a lot about making a fire. She should get a Nobel Prize. That's a prize they give out to people who know how to make fires. Mrs. Meyer took the last bite from her hot dog. If fire is so dangerous, Why would we want to make one? Asked Andrea. So you can toast marshmallows, silly. Hello, said Mrs. Meyer. Marshmallows. I love marshmallows. I can't think of anything in the world I love more than marshmallows. Well, maybe chocolate and ice cream and pizza. But I really like marshmallows too. Mrs. Meyer, she pulled out a big bag of them and gave each of us a pointy stick. She showed us how to hold the marshmallow over the fire and to turn it real slowly like this, so it gets brown on all the sides. Toasty brown all around, Mrs. Brown said. Repeat after me. Toasty brown all around. Toasty brown all around, we all chanted. I ate about 1,100,000 marshmallows. I thought I was going to throw up. It was the greatest day of my life. Say, do you kids want to hear a joke? Mrs. Meyer asked as we were toasting our marshmallows. I wonder what the joke is. Oh, no, not again. Mrs. Meyer's jokes are awful. Did you hear about the fire at the circus? She asked. No, we all replied. It was intense, said Mrs. Meyer. That was the whole joke. I didn't get it. Of course it was intense. It was at the circus. Mrs. Meyer's jokes make no sense at all. After we finished all the marshmallows, Mrs. Meyer just sat there, staring into the fire without saying anything for a long time. She looked all glassy-eyed. It was like she was in a trance or something. Fire is an amazing thing, don't you think? She said. It can be so useful and also so destructive. Like I said, Mrs. Meyer is weird. And there's Mrs. Meyer. Okay, that's the end of chapter 7. No, we are chapter 8. Ready? Here we go. It's called, The Truth About Mrs. Meyer. We were eating lunch in the vomitorium. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Michael had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Ryan had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Everybody had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I traded my peanut butter and jelly sandwich for Neil's peanut butter and jelly sandwich because his mom cuts the crusts off. You know what's weird? I told the gang. That sometimes they say that a house burned down, and sometimes they say that a house burned up, but it's the same thing. That's right, said Ryan. Whether your house burns up or down, you still have no house left. I'll tell you what's weird, said Michael. Mrs. Meyer. Yeah, we all agreed. She's always telling us jokes about fires, said Alexia. Hey, I know a joke fire, I said. Okay, so ready? I know a joke fire. What do you call a doll that's on fire? What? A barbecue. Everybody laughed. Neil, the nude kid, laughed so hard that milk came out of his nose. And you know a joke is good if you can have milk come out of your nose. That's the first rule of being a kid. I didn't see it, but annoying Andrea and crybaby Emily, they had just come up behind us and they put their trays on our table. Setting dolls on fire is not funny, Arlo, said Andrea. How would you like it if I set one of your action figures on fire? I did that last week, I told her. His face melted off. It was so cool. Andrea and Emily sat down and Andrea had her mean face as usual. What's eating you? I asked her. Did they cancel your clog dancing lesson for today? No, said Andrea. I'm worried about Mrs. Meyer. I think she likes fire just a little too much. Yeah, did you see the look in her eyes when she was staring into the campfire? It was creepy. I think Mrs. Meyer is obsessed with fire. Maybe she's pyromaniac, said Andrea. You mean she really loves eating pie? I said. Everybody laughed, even though I didn't think anything was funny. No, dumbhead, said Andrea. A pyromaniac is somebody who can't stop setting fires. I knew that, I lied. Hey, maybe Mrs. Meyer isn't a real firefighter after all. Maybe she's an imposter. Stop trying to scare Emily, Andrea told me. Yeah, Maybe Mrs. Meyer is someone who is pretending to be a firefighter, said Michael. I'm scared, said Emily. Maybe Mrs. Meyer kidnapped a real firefighter and tied him up in an abandoned barn, said Neil. Stuff like that happens all the time, you know. And she's about to set the barn on fire, said Ryan. I saw that in a movie once. She'll probably set our school on fire, I added. We've got to do something, Emily shouted, and then she went running out of the room. Sheesh, that girl will fall for anything. All right, boys and girls, that's the end of chapter 8. So don't forget to watch tomorrow. We're going to read our last chapters, 9, 10, and 11, and it will be our last chapter for this school year until I see you again next year in August. So, okay, boys and girls, again, don't forget to return your library books. Remember, our library books have this barcode. Please, 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 okay? I will be there today from 12 to 4 if you want to stop by and drop it off. All right, boys and girls, have an awesome Thursday, and don't forget to watch tomorrow's video for the last 3 chapters. Bye, boys and girls.